And welcome back. We are officially in the lower bracket, sometimes uncharacteristically known as the loser bracket, where we will see who will emerge for the final playoff or semifinal spot. And this matchup will take place between Kid and Ari, who we just watched unfortunately lose their epic Game 3 cliffhanger and drop to the loser bracket for the first time all tournament. They will face Edyluna and Jestr, who have been waiting patiently for a chance to fight the loser of said previous match, and they will take this fight to Discord 4 as in a repeat series of the series of maps we just saw played in the winners bracket. Now, the winners bracket is done for the day. All semifinals and finals will be played tomorrow. But the loser bracket still has lots of action to play, as we still have to decide who the second semifinalist will be. So let's get this started off in good fashion. In southern position, we have in the green Protoss Kid and his lover, friend, confidant Ari as the pink Zerg. And they will be facing Jestr as the blue Zerg in the north position, and just above him, his teammate Edyluna, the red Protoss. Now, this map, again, not super friendly to Zerg given the shared bases and very narrow ramps, but the expansions are very, very fertile for picking off, especially these dual locations where you can get a 2-for-1 special if someone's not paying attention. You also have only one natural, which can make resource collection a little bit tough. We did see a lot of resource starvation in previous matches taking place on this map, so we could see something like that again. And here we see Kid sending a probe for some early scouting, pretty much just some macroing up on both ends, and Jestr not using his overlords for scouting. He may be fearing a little bit of a Phoenix harass. We haven't really seen any Phoenix harass in any matches so far in this tournament, but it is always possible, always a valid threat. And Edyluna going down for a gateway. They will opt not to wall off. Kid has not even dropped, he has dropped a pylon, but he has not dropped any gateways, but it looks like he will try to go for at least some kind of partial wall off. And we see Jestr hovering patiently for the 300 mineral mark, which he just hit, and he will go ahead and drop his expansion down and go for the early expand. Very solid macro build from Jestr. And we see Kid still roaming around, keeping an eye, waiting to see when that spawning pool will drop. We see nothing but drones from Jestr. He's patient man when it comes to expansions and spawning pools. And as soon as he leaves, boom, instant gas, instant spawning pool. Doesn't want him to see it, but wants to do it. Edyluna patiently just building a gateway, going for some very, very macro, just kind of saving up some minerals, not mining this gas yet, just kind of letting it hang out for a little bit. Kid did see the expansion, so he knows that they're not going to go for an early rush attack. You see Ari using the box formation for the spine crawler drop, very useful against early attacks from Zerg, but it doesn't look like they're going to get it. So far we see Jestr just kind of hanging back with these overlords, just taking his time. Not really much going on. See finally Kid dropping down a cybernetic explorer and another gateway. One of Kid's biggest problems has been his lack of gateway early game, and we saw 2 times actually that they had attacks early, and Ari kind of had to bail him out a little bit because he just did not have enough gateways to keep up. I think in both cases he only had 2 gateways, so I'd like to see him drop more gateways sooner. After the cybernetics core, he always drops the extra gateway, but never really goes past that. Tries to tech up instead, and teching up's important, but not at the sacrifice of leaving yourself vulnerable early game. Meanwhile, back on the Jestr Edyluna side, we see Jestr starting to mine out his expansion a little bit. Still running on 1 gas, no expansion, no speedlings yet, no units yet, and these overlords just kind of hanging out here. Little questionable on what direction he's going to go in right now. We see a cybernetics core coming down for Edyluna very late when compared to Kid. Kid's had his cybernetics core down and an additional gateway for a little while now. Looks like they're all producing lots of gateway units, and looks like they're all going to be going to the Zelnaga tower. See a zealot over here to join these very slow lanes so far. See Ari going down for an expansion. So a little bit of a cross section here, where you see The Zerg on the Jestr Edyluna side going for an expansion early, and then Ahri going for the expansion late on this side. Usually we've seen Ahri go fast, and there we go. Got some Lings gonna go check out this expansion. They saw it earlier when Kid was scouting, and there's really no units from either one of them to defend. You see two Zealots just kind of hanging out. And you see this is where Jester's lack of units early is really going to hurt him, as he basically just handed them this expansion. The handful of Zerglings he's making will pretty much just serve as a temporary distraction. These Zealots go in, might be able to do enough damage to the Zerglings before they go down to try and save this. It came surprisingly close. Definitely cut the number of DPS on this hatchery down. May be able to pull off something here and finally see some more Zerglings rolling in, and he will amazingly save this, just barely saving this expansion. As it sits at half health, it will probably be at risk for the most of the early game. And you know, fairly decent attack, but not enough return on it to make it worth it for Ahri and Kid. See them starting to stack up here at the Xel'Naga. See a nice ball of speedlings coming out now, and this gateway units, and finally you see him putting down more gateway units, very necessary, and the Twilight Cancel for those charge lots that he likes so much. A little bit of a connection delay there for Edyluna. Hopefully it won't become a problem. See some more Lings coming out. See about halfway on the speedlings. You also see a Roach worn down, but no Roaches. Take a look at Economy. Economy almost dead even. See a little bit of hurt on the Jester side, kind of bouncing back from that early attack. You see some Zerglings stacked up here, some Zerglings over here with some gateway units, and you see them kind of looking at this two-pronged attack and don't think they see them. You know, stacking up over here. You got units all around. They're just surrounding this place. It's like Jurassic Park, and these are Velociraptors just waiting to pick you off with a three-way slice. And there they go, rolling in. You see these Zerglings are going to get shredded by these Zealots. You see these gateway units rolling in. And you see, meanwhile, oh, Ahri's sending all of his Zerglings into this mineral line. Just going to go ahead and chew up all these probes. See these two Stalkers coming in. It's just too late. It's the wrong unit to counter these Zerglings. But amazingly, Ahri has microed them to run around instead of trying to take out the two Stalkers. He ran around and he let them take pot shots and kind of whittle down his resources a little bit. Oh no, this is what we did not want to see, which is connection trouble for Edyluna. She bounces back though, and you see these units running in here, trying to pick off as many workers as possible. Why he is not trying to kill these two Stalkers though is beyond me. He has literally lost more units running around the map than he has trying to kill things. And you know, I want to say it almost wasn't worth it. I mean, these two Stalkers were not enough of a reason to send you running. Could have very easily overwhelmed them. Meanwhile, Kid's gateway units have finished chewing down that completely unguarded or, you know, completely evacuated base. There wasn't much there. Now he's going to roll in and basically tell his partner, hey, Ahri, let me show you how it's done. And I'm going to go ahead and try to roll in here. Meanwhile, Jestr has completely taken out those two remaining Zerglings, just rolling in here on Edyluna. Just kind of going to town on this. These Roaches are not going to be enough, as there are way too many Zealots here. And they're going to go ahead and just chew up all of Edyluna's resources. No attempt to evacuate the probes, and that will completely go down. And three gateways producing Stalkers are going to help with, you know, a little bit of the Stalkers, but really these Roaches are going to need some help here. Well, I believe we still have two. Oh my gosh, all these two Stalkers are still fighting all these Zerglings. You see more Stalkers rolling in. This is not looking good for them at all. Lots and lots of resources for Edyluna. Definitely could have had a lot more gateways down, and you see them going to town. Jester's base completely overrun, and this is basically the game right here. A posthumous gold expansion going down, and ceremoniously just completely tearing through everything right now, as there is really no hope for them. Edyluna leaves the game. There's a GG from Jestr, and that is a quick, very quick and dirty victory from Kid and Ahri. A much-needed pick-me-up after their devastating Game 3 in the winner's bracket, and we'll have to see if Edyluna and Jestr can bounce back. Stay tuned for another game.